All right. Welcome to series number 2 of the day, the final series of week 2. We have Dynasty Sapphire versus Elysium Terra. I am joined here today by Vimstat, otherwise known as Tavian. And we do have some news. ET is losing 2 bans for this entire series. They had 2 players that they added to the rosters a little bit late, so they are considered E-subs. So that might affect how draft plays out and how this series plays out. Do you have any comments on that, Vimstat?
Yeah, I think that it's interesting. We're not seeing Susurration or Furry Little Feet in the jungle this game. I think that's going to make a big difference for this team. So I actually am favoring Dynasty Sapphire in this series.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to still think that ET is going to take the series. I think that based off their first series of gameplay last week, they look very coordinated. They do have some subs, but this roster is very extensive, and it seems like this team has been together for a while. So I'm going to support the boys, the wild cards, the fresh face of BTL, and I'm going to go with ET. But I am thinking that Dynasty Sapphire will at least take a game off of them.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good series, I think.
Yeah, we should be getting into draft here pretty soon. ET is ready to go. Just gotta confirm with Dynasty Sapphire if they are ready. Let me confirm. But what are your predictions for the drafting phase with the 2 ban losses? Where do you think? What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna get left open in terms of what these teams play?
I think it's a little bit weird because they are losing their first 2 bans and Dynasty Sapphire is first pick. So I'm hoping to see either a Ziggs or a Jinx from the side of Dynasty Sapphire because those 2 picks are very prioritized in this meta, and I think that maybe we'll see one of those picks depending on what they play.
Sorry, say that again. I zoned out there.
Oh, I'm thinking that either Jinx or Ziggs are going to be priority for Dynasty Sapphire, depending on what their ADC plays. Just because how strong it is in the meta, and ET only gets 1 ban, so we might see a Jinx or a Ziggs first pick here.
Okay. Is there any other priority areas other than the bot lane?
I think that for the side of ET, I'm looking at their jungler. It looks like he's going to be locking in a tank, so probably a Mumu or Zac seems to be what he likes to play. And I think we might also see a Twitch from the side of ET. Susurration has been playing a lot of Twitch, and Twitch did just get buffed last pat.
So you're not going to see any bans from ET for the first 3 of them.
Oh, they're not getting any bans.
So they have 2 E-subs, or really 2 people that are added to the roster today. There won't be E-subs after today.
Okay.
But 2 added to the, and then they had a named friend. So for example, the person that you referred to, Susurration, is not playing on the account Susurration. So they're playing on Furry Little Feet, because that's what Furry Little Feet is the name change that account got name changed to.
Wait, wasn't Furry Little Feet with them last week?
Furry Little Feet was with them last week, apparently. I missed that entirely. Apparently, when they played against BBC, but the name change was never recorded, so it never changed on the roster. So Furry Little Feet has been Susurration, but I was unaware of that.
Oh, okay.
The enemy team was unaware of that, and they asked who's Furry Little Feet, and then that for us like, oh, that's a name change that wasn't recorded.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we just got some more news. Apparently, ET gets no bans at all for the first phase. That's going to be lasting through this entire series. So quite a disadvantage for ET here, but nothing that's insurmountable. So Dynasty Sapphire is going to start with the Zac ban.
Also, going forward, Frostbyte, if you make the links for the games 2 and 3, you should edit it to make it so that ET's side is losing the first 3 bans.
Yeah.
That'll make this go faster. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna grab those. Good luck with everything.
So we do have the Zac ban coming in for the side of Dynasty Sapphire, followed by a Taric ban. Looks like they're trying to get them off of potential comfort picks here, because you don't really see a Zac or a Taric being played too often in this meta. But yeah, now that ET has no bans to speak of whatsoever, it's really going to open up this draft for the side of Dynasty Sapphire to guarantee the first pick that they want, and potentially an R2 and R3 pick coming their way as well.
Yeah, this is a huge advantage for Dynasty Sapphire because there's so many good picks that they could get here. Maybe even an Irelia pick, because I know that Empress of Blades really likes Irelia.
True, you can't even ban Empress of Blades Irelia. Oh, that is rough for Elysium Terra.
That is.
So there's going to be a lot open. Now the question is, can Empress of Blades blind pick the Irelia? Because there are a few matchups that can go a little haywire for her. Typically, it's in the top side of the map that you're seeing those bad matchups for the side of Irelia, but maybe they can pull out something in the mid lane. Some things that I think of right off the bat, I feel like a Kali would be pretty hard for Irelia. Like, yeah, you can hit the stun, but she has the Shroud to dodge your Qs, and a Kali's burst is pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see.
Yeah, I also.
Oh, sorry.
I also think that maybe a Lissandra pick could come out for their mid laner. He does play Lissandra.
Okay. Empress or Zoai?
Zuai.
Okay.
I think that would be a good pick into Irelia.
Okay, so we do have the Kai'Sa first pick here from Dynasty Sapphire. A very solid AD carry. Did get a little bit of a nerf this patch, but still super strong and a plethora of builds. Can fit any team comp pretty well. And ET is going to answer with a quick Ivern Jinx pickup. Jinx being probably one of the strongest hyper carries in the meta right now. And pairing that with an Ivern. Ivern, once again, one of those champions that clear isn't really affected by all the jungle nerfs. And Ivern, playing Jinx with an Ivern, Ivern has a clear unit that he wants to keep alive and wants to keep buffed. We are going to see the Irelia pickup here for most likely Empress of Blades and a Rel to fit with the Kai'Sa. So a lot of ways to generate a lot of stacks on the Kai'Sa's passive and really start some explosive trades down in the bot lane.
Oh, wow. I actually really like ET's draft so far. Despite them not having the first 3 bans, I think they're winning draft so far.
Yeah.
Braum is really good counter engage. Jinx is such a hyper scaly champion, and she's got an Ivern to keep her safe and a Braum. This is a really good team comp.
Yeah, on top of that, the Braum can I don't know if she consumes the Irelia. I don't know if he consumes the Irelia ulti, but can block that Irelia ulti from getting onto pretty key targets. And Rel runs into the same problem that Nautilus runs into when playing into a champion like Braum. When they go in, that's all they can do. They have to go in, and that's a free Braum stack onto that champion, and they can play the bot lane fights really heavily in the front to back favor, and that's going to get really tough for champions like Rel and Nautilus, especially if they opt to go Glacial Augment, which is a pretty popular ruin for supports to be taken. So we are going to see the very first bans from ET. They are going to take away the Karthus and Lilia from the jungler. So some pretty decent bans coming through, and it's going to be matched with a Kennen and a Renekton ban focused on that top lane matchup against ET.
Yeah, this is, like, despite them missing these bans, they're drafting really, really well. I like it.
Yeah,
and there's the Akali you were talking about.
Yeah, the Akali picked up for the mid lane. Can be flexed to the top lane if it's not exactly the most suitable matchup. I'm not 100% positive on how the Irelia plays into Akali, but I have a feeling that Akali is a pretty solid champion into Irelia. We are going to have Sejuani and Mordekaiser picked up on the side of DS, so Jinx is going to need to QSS this game, make sure that she can stay in these fights and not get isolated with the Mordekaiser and the Sejuani Glacial Prism. Overall,
yeah, the Mordekaiser.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
The Mordekaiser pick is really good because it is going to force Jinx to get that 1300 gold item, which she does not necessarily want to do.
But we have a Gnar matchup into the Mordekaiser. I think that's a little tough for Mordekaiser. Gnar gets that pretty aggressive form in his mini Gnar form, so he can get a lot of poke down. Great anti-tank champion as well, and a solid engage tool for the side of ET. Sejuani is. I guess that does fit their comp pretty well. Diamond Sapphire has a pretty solid comp here, but ET does have a lot stronger hyper carry and a lot of ways to keep that hyper carry alive. So it's really going to come down to these front to back fights. Both teams have extremely tanky comps, very hard to kill. So we're going to have to see exactly who can really pull out a lead in the early game and start probably dragon stacking, and then use that gold and stats from the dragon to really explode or really break the game open.
Yeah, I think these teams draft-wise are pretty even. I think they both have different win conditions. If Dynasty Sapphire can get ahead early, they can really push that lead. However, ET just wants to scale into the late game, and if they can do that and get dragon stacking, it's going to be really difficult for Dynasty Sapphire to do anything.
Yeah, so now that we've seen both comps, you were talking about how you like the first 3 picks from coming out from ET, but who do you favor overall with those final few picks coming in?
I really think it just depends on how the game plays out, but if ET plays it right, which I have no doubt that they will, I actually favor ET if they can get the dragon stacking.
All right. Well, we did have a pretty nice showing of the Ivern in the first series of the day. I'm curious if ET's jungler is able to perform just as well or even better. Ivern is a very niche champion, but he has some pretty great clear pathings and great clear opportunities, and it's kind of hard to predict that champion because his way of farming is so unusual.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see in our first game, the FAT team failed to do the Ivern trick. He almost did it with the blast cone, but I'd like to see if maybe our ET player can do it.
So what's the trick? You mark blue buff, you Q it or something, and then you go to the wolves and then smite or something?
Yeah, you mark all your top side camps, and then you go into your bot side camps and mark raptors in red, and then you walk back top and you auto attack the blast cone Q at the same time on the blue buff, and you can actually take the wolves and the blue buff at the same time, and it just makes your clear a lot faster.
All right. It's so strange to see a team lose for all 3 bans right in the beginning.
Yeah, it is. But I actually think I'm shocked at how well they drafted despite losing those.
Yeah. 100%.
I think them letting through the Irelia pick isn't that bad because they clearly had a plan to put a stop to this Irelia with the Braum and the Akali.
I don't know if they'd necessarily let it through. They kind of got forced into it because it's hard to blind pick that champion, especially like when there's just so many matchups that she can kind of fail in, and if you don't really know how to pilot that champ, which hopefully Empress of Blades does, it's in her name, then it can definitely get a little iffy for that champion because she can be quite useless if she doesn't get some gold underneath her feet and really start to buffer those bump up the stats with items. But I think Akali is a great matchup in there, and I don't think Dynasty Sapphire was ready for that pick. If you look at their bans, they were really focused on the top lane matchup with the Kinnan and Renekton. So, which is kind of strange when you're planning to lock in a champion like Mordekaiser. He's kind of like one of those guys who, even if he gets a bad matchup, he can just kind of sit there and neutralize it with his shield, with his healing, and with his wave clear. But that's the way Dynasty Sapphire opted to go for it, and we gotta hope that it doesn't bite them in the butt with this Akali versus Irelia matchup.
Yeah, and I really like the bans from ET. The Lilia and Karthus bans, it kind of negates Dynasty Sapphire could play to match the scaling with the Karthus or the Lilia, and they really put a stop to that, which is really huge.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
we did have maybe a mispick there. So I'm going to swing it over to this screen. What happened? Trying to figure out what happened here. Looks like it was a misclick. So yeah, it was just a misclick here. But is there any final remarks you want to go through here before we bring it to a break? I feel like we've talked about basically everything we could have talked about for the draft.
Yeah, I think my final remark would be is this game could go both ways really easily. It really just depends on how the early game goes for Dynasty Sapphire.
All right, well, we are going to swing it off to a break while we go through this fan phase again and load into the Rift. So don't go anywhere. We will be back with you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. So we will see you guys on the other side.
Not too long
All right, all right, all right. We are loaded into the rift for game number 1 between Dynasty Sapphire and Elysium Terra. Tavian, are you ready to start casting?
I sure am.
All right. 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13. All right. So
We're good.
we got some pings on the map that are just kind of defensive pings coming out from Dynasty Sapphire. And we're going to have a standard 5-point from both teams here, it looks like. So nothing too crazy is going to happen, most likely. But we do have some Summoner Spell discrepancies. We don't have a Flash in the top lane for the side of Mordekaiser. He's opted to take Ghost versus the Flash of Gnar. And we have an Exhaust coming out of the Jinx, whereas the Kai'Sa has taken Ghost. So, double combat spells versus a I would put Ghost at like a 50% combat spell, 50% safety spell. And Rel has done the Glacial Augment opt instead of the Aftershock option. So that means when she does go in, if they can't get on top of Jinx and Braum does connect a stun onto the Rel, it can get kind of dangerous for the Rel.
Yeah, and I think both ADCs not taking cleanse here is very odd, but I think that the Jinx is in a better position not having cleanse just because she has so much peel from the Ivern and from the Braum.
Yeah, it should be pretty hard for... The only thing that you're going to really be cleansing on the side of Jinx is going to be that Glacial Prism, maybe a stun from Irelia, but Braum should be able to block all of that if he is playing on point, versus you can't cleanse a Mordekaiser ult, so he's going to have to go with the QSS rush whenever he does decide to get that for the Mordekaiser. So it makes more sense on the Jinx versus the Kai'Sa not having it. You do have the Braum stun, the root from the Ivern, stuns from Gnar. So yeah, I can get a little bit dicey there for the Kai'Sa in that aspect.
It does look like the Ivern is planning to path towards the bot lane.
Yeah, he did start his clear on the top side, scare red buff and the Krugs and Raptors early. So maybe we'll be looking for a potential level 3 gank in the top side, but otherwise he should be pathing bot to aid the Jinx, because the Jinx is their win con with an Akali backup.
Yep. And it looks like the top wave is being pushed in, so Sejuani's not going to look for that gank, I don't think, unless they want to go for a dive.
Ooh, good trade there by the Akali. The Akali flashes forward and hits the E on her. She does go forward, and that's going to be first blood over to the Akali. Really well played there by Zawai.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be scared of the Irelia pick after seeing that.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, though. The Akali is a great answer into Irelia. It's super hard for Irelia to get those Q resets onto priority targets when they have the safety of the Shroud. And right there, to be honest, though, that first blood only happened because Irelia blundered and took a tower shot. So great capitalization by Zawai. But he did have to blow his flash for that first blood.
He's got a nasty freeze here too, so Sejuani might need to come to bail him out.
Yeah,
Ivern's coming to punish.
Yeah, and there we go. We do have a fight happening. The Sejuani is here. The E connects onto the Irelia, and Irelia is going to die? No, the Irelia flushes away, and the stun from the Sejuani saves her. Now Ivern might die here. I think Sejuani is going to try to give this over to Irelia if they can get it, but the root on Sejuani does confirm that the Ivern does get out. So well played there by Krell on the Sejuani. Really saved that lane for Irelia there.
Yeah, really well played. And it's critical that she kept her flash in the first exchange, just accepted her death, because if she didn't have flash there, she would have died again.
All right, so we do have first half of the items coming onto the Akali and Irelia. Irelia has opted to take Vamp Scepter, whereas Akali has gotten the Hex Tech Alternator. So a little bit more burst damage coming out of Akali there, and a little bit more sustain coming from the Irelia. We do have a trade happening in the top side. The Ghost has been popped by Mordekaiser, but there's also a fight in the bot side right now. Can they connect the stun here? Doesn't look like it, and the fight top side did not lead anywhere other than getting a flash for Ghost trade.
Akali is moving down towards the bot lane, and she's for anything there.
Yeah, ooh, Braum is overstepping here. He gets stunned by the Rel here and gets the knockup and by both Sejuani and Rel, so that's going to be a kill going over to the Kai'Sa. A little bit of an overstep there by Braum. But now Mordekaiser could be in danger. He doesn't have Ghost to get away, and the Ivern is here. He does get the pull in on Ivern, and the root from Ivern does connect, so this should be a dead Mordekaiser here, but he did just hit level 6. Dolty is down onto the Gnar, and Ivern cannot help here. Can Gnar win the 1v1? He doesn't have Mega Form, though. He kind of didn't do any auto attacks there. He kind of just walked around inside the passive of Mordekaiser and died.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Dynasty Sapphire start up that Drake, because they had Prio mid and they had Prio bot, and they knew Ivern top, but I guess they're just not prioritizing that dragon stack.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a fight going down here. The Irelia does have full stacks on her passive, but takes a really rough trade there by Akali. Akali does have her ultimate, and Empress of Blade just unlocked hers. So maybe a potential fight here. Both supports are roaming mid. Braum should see the Rel.
Ivern's not near, so Sejuani can get there first.
Ivern has spotted Sejuani here. Sejuani has gotten the Scuttle Crab, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade on the Scuttles. But a pretty exciting game for the first 6 minutes. A lot of fighting. Dynasty Sapphire has gotten the advantage here, up 2 kills and up about 1,000 gold. But we got to see if they can turn this into more. The dragon still has not been secured yet. When Dynasty Sapphire definitely had an opportunity to go for it.
Yeah, we've got about almost a 600 gold lead in the top lane. That's going to be really big for the Mordekaiser. This Mordekaiser scaling into the late game, being able to maybe get this Jinx. Yeah. Jinx is really going to need that QSS, or she's going to be able to get absolutely dominated by this Mordekaiser.
Yeah, Sejuani has dropped the ping topside. She is going up. There is no vision to see her. So she's going to be able to come through try here. So Gnar could be in danger if he does not respect this. The Mordekaiser misses the pull, and Gnar's going to get the movement speed from his W passive. Can he jump over the Sejuani here? But Sejuani interrupts it with her Q, and that's going to be a dead Gnar, and that's another kill going over to Mordekaiser.
Really well played, and this sets them up for a perfect Rift Herald opportunity.
Irelia drops the ult mid, but doesn't continue after hitting that ult, so a little bit of a wasted cooldown there. But things are looking rough in the top side of the map. It's a great area for Sejuani to be playing in. She can really focus her melee matchup because they do stack the Sejuani passive with her.
Yep. Dynasty Sapphire is definitely playing really well to their win condition here. No objectives have been taken off the map, which is something that they really want, because they're looking to win this game early and get a huge lead. So they are taking the dragon, which is good, but the dragon stack is starting a little bit late.
Yeah, This is actually Elysium Terra grabbing this first dragon here. Sejuani is patching for the Rift to try to maybe look for more gold onto their solo lane carries, while Elysium Terra opts for the more team-oriented buff.
Yep. I actually really like this trade from Dynasty Sapphire because they really want to push their gold lead in and get ahead, and they can stop these dragons stacking on the next dragon if they play the game, if they play it right with the Rift Herald.
Yeah. Notably, right before that dragon fight, Jinx had to use her flash to get away from the Rel engage so that she didn't die while they were securing that dragon. It's a pretty big summoner spell lost against a champion like Rel, and Rel still does have the flash up for a quick engage with her ultimate.
Yeah, it looks like we have a 1.2k gold lead in the top lane now. Absolutely dominating in the top lane.
Sorry.
I'm curious to see which build this Kaisa is going to go. I'm not sure if going Duskblade build is good here, but we will see. It looks like that's what she's doing. So it's odd to see how many people are still prioritizing Duskblade even after how hard it got nerfed.
Yeah, it's for the quick evolve on their Q, so it's still viable on Kai'Sa because Kai'Sa Q evolve is so powerful. We do have a little bit of a freeze happening right here with the Kai'Sa and Rel. Very well played by them, but Sejuani isn't here, so it is very breakable.
Yep. It's definitely forcing them to stay though. They really wanted to back there, so this is good.
Yeah, Empress of Blades is looking for a potential fight mid with the Sejuani on her tower, but Sejuani opts to back away from it.
Yeah, the tank meta is here in the jungle. We haven't seen any spicy plays in invading or anything.
What do you mean? We have nukes, I mean, for this game, 100%. Sejuani is here, misses the knockup onto the Akali, and they're just waiting for the Shroud to expire. Akali ults and is going to try to ulti away here, but the Permafrost does get her along with the Sejuani Glacial Prison. That's going to be kill going over to Irelia. Braum is trying to get away, uses the flash, but does not get away fast enough and does die to the Kaisa. Herald has been dropped mid to put more gold into Irelia.
Yeah, this is really big. Irelia went from being even in gold to now she is about 500 gold ahead. That is really big for the side of Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah.
It looks like we've got a proxy going for the Mordekaiser. This is...
Yeah, Mordekaiser,
oh, he's bullying him.
Mordekaiser doesn't really have any fear. His ultimate is up, so even if Ivern moves up to try to help, it's still a 1v1, so it can get kind of dangerous here with that proxy happening.
Yeah, and this is really big. He's gonna get a lot of plates from this and pull a lot of pressure on the map. Oh, he's going a layer deeper here, pulling some boss strats here.
All right, so
yeah,
we
we
have a potential fight happening here. Sejuani gets spotted on a ward. They're just looking to clear some vision up, get ready for this next dragon that spawns in a minute 30. Irelia is mid. She doesn't have the full Blade of the Rune King yet, so her trades aren't absolutely oppressive quite yet. Sejuani gets spotted by a pink, so no shenanigans happen for Irelia. Ooh, Ivern pops the ultimate, spots Rel out, but Rel's just going to jump over the wall with his W. So a pretty big cooldown used by Ivern there for Nada.
Oh. And notably, we do have TP on both top laners for this next dragon fight, so we could see a pretty big fight breaking down, but my guess is that ET is just going to give it over to the side of Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah, the Kaisa has already hit her Q evolve with those items, so her damage output in isolated 1v1s and even 2v2s is a lot higher.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mordekaiser has a Rylai's coming in already with the steel plate boots. He is really, really far ahead. He's almost, he's about 1,200 gold ahead.
Empress Blade gets pushed off by the Ivern mid lane, trying to get some pressure for the Akali. Dragon spawns in 20 seconds. Let's see if both junglers start pathing down there or if Elysium Terra is going to give this dragon because they feel like they're a little bit too far behind.
Yeah, Daisy is down, so I think that they're just going to give it.
Yeah, and Britza Blade looking for pretty aggressive trades here. Mordekaiser's just walking down, not going to even TP, so this should be the dragon going over to Dynasty Sapphire.
Yep. Yeah, I like him walking down here. He is giving one plate, maybe two, on the top side, but now he can just TP back top.
But Gnar is going to get... Oh, he doesn't get 2 plates. He only gets 1. The plating did just expire there.
Yeah, the Gnar is still... Like, even with him wasting that much time, losing 2 waves and a plate, he's still ahead 1,000 gold. He is absolutely a monster right now. Now, for the side of ET, I think that they can definitely still win this game. They're only down 3k, and Jinx is a ticking
We have a Hex Flash there. Jinx has to flash away from the Rel there, but Rel gets the ultimate forward, and Kai'Sa ults right behind Jinx to get some nice burst damage on Jinx. Jinx just got back to lane, so pretty bad start to a recall.
Yeah, the power of the Braum really shined there. If the support was not Braum there, Jinx 100% dies.
Yeah. Braum blocked some Qs coming in from the Kai'Sa, took some tank for her. Wasn't a full isolated Q. If it was, I believe Jinx would have just died straight up to that Kai'Sa.
It looks like Dynasty Sapphire is also going to get Reptile.
Oh, we have a little bit of a cheeky, nice ulti there by the Gnar to throw the Mordekaiser under the tower, but Mordekaiser just shields up with his W passive and walks away. And now we have Sejuani and Rel here, a potential dive onto the Gnar. The Gnar is going to get caught out. This is going to be a 3v1 dive. Gnar has to try to walk away. He can't get caught by this Mordekaiser. But it looks like he knows he can't jump over. Oh, a nice flash to dodge the Rel stun and a jump over the Sejuani, but the Glacial Prism does get dropped and stuns the Gnar. The Gnar almost has Mega Form though. He is going to get Mega here. Jinx Arcade goes in, hits 2. So Gnar, great survivability there. Nice outplay playing weak side to make sure he doesn't give another kill over to the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, that was really well played. A good flash. I would like to see the Sejuani bring this Rift Herald bot lane so that they can really take control of that bottom side of the map for the Dragon stack.
Yeah, we do have a Mountain Soul this game. So pretty nice beefy stats for the Mordekaiser, the Rel, the Sejuani, and the Irelia. All those champions really love that soul.
Yep. Yeah. I think that they could definitely look to maybe dive bot because Jinx does not have any sums. So
Rel flashes forward and ults W's the Jinx and hits the Q. So that's going to be a dead Jinx here. And we have a TP coming in from Gnar, but it's too little too late. He's going to try to get the chase here. Kai'Sa's going to have to pop the flash. Gnar flashes forward, or ease forward, but Rel does fling the Gnar over her back. And it is going to stop the chase there. That should be top tower going over to the Mordekaiser. Can they get an answer here, though?
Yeah, it looks like they're really... it's really awkward that he TP'd there because he's not going to have TP for this next dragon, so...
Yeah, Rel gets a nice double Q stun with the W knock up onto the Gnar and Braum, and Irelia is here. Can she connect the E onto both? She only connected onto the Braum. The Braum ulti goes forward to interrupt the Irelia Q. Irelia is going to get stunned up by the Braum passive, and Zawai is here as Akali. That's one shot down going over to Zawai. Can he get another kill onto the Rel? And he does with the ultimate execute. So that gets him into a pretty good position for this dragon fight.
Yeah, that was a really good turn. Good roam by Akali.
Jinx is going to have to be careful here. This Mordekaiser is really strong.
Yeah, he is. He is now almost 2,000 gold up on his lane counterpart, Gnar, at 18 minutes. That's insane.
Yeah.
He's taking away these camps. I don't know if ET can contest this dragon because Mordekaiser is just such a menace. If he gets down there, they can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Mordekaiser
and he does have TP.
Yeah, so this should be just all 5 Dynasty Sapphire's players going over to this dragon. And this should be the second dragon for Dynasty Sapphire secured, unless Ivern can make a heroic steal, or if they can pull out a team fight of the ages. But it's going to be really hard against the 2-item Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and a 2-item Kaisa. It's looking pretty doomed for this fight. I hope they don't fight it for the sake of ET.
Yeah. Looks like they are walking down to get there, though. They're going to have to start a fight early here. If they try to start the fight when Dragon's up, Mordekaiser can just ult Ivern, and there's not much Ivern can do. Herald's going to be dropped bot to add some more pressure.
Does Daisy join them in the Realm of Doom? Do you know?
Think so. I don't think so.
Maybe we'll find out.
Daisy has been popped. They're fighting away from Mordekaiser. They're going to try to force a 5v3 in the bot side.
This is a good setup from ET.
Yeah, Mordekaiser is here now, though. He did ghost. He ulted the Jinx. The Jinx got a little bit too close, and that's just going to be a dead Jinx of the Mordekaiser even through the exhaust. So Mordekaiser does get a kill in the Death Realm. The tower does fall to the Herald, and now it's a 4v5 into this. Nar gets a nice double ultimate with the W stun, but the Irelia gets a huge ultimate on 3 targets, and she's going to chase down this Ivern, but the W snipe from the Kaiser does confirm the kill. Zawai just has to run away. He can't get through these tanks. And that's going to be an ace coming over from Dynasty Sapphire. Triple kill going over to the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I don't think they can move over to this Baron off of this, but they're in such a good spot. Like, Jinx really needs to get that QSS. So we saw the power of the Mordekaiser there. Jinx can't do anything. She just gets ulted. You can't block that with Braum. So...
Yeah. Yeah, the Dynasty Sapphire now has a 8k gold lead right now. Just jumped up to 9k after that tower was secured by Irelia. So I want to see Elysium Terra slow down this game, let their Jinx farm up. They're going to have to give some major objectives over, but they got 1 dragon already, so it's not like the soul is anywhere close by. They still have at least 10 minutes, and that should give Jinx enough time to get some items under her belt.
And they have really good steal potential. Like, Jinx can just throw an ult at Baron, and it's actually really good for stealing objectives because it does 1200 damage as much as Smite.
Yeah.
But we do see a 2k gold lead in the Kaisa and a 3.5k gold lead in Mordekaiser.
Yeah, that is
really
pretty
insane.
disgusting.
The Irelia is also almost 2,000 gold up and has the width, so she can really duel with this Akali and is gonna look to match the Akali if she goes to a side lane. They might be looking to bait a fight.
Yeah, Mordekaiser does still have TP, so he can get over to this Baron fight instantly, and he does have Death Realm available.
Looks like Nar's TP is just coming up as well.
Ooh, that's a nice Q pull by the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's just going to chase here. He does still have his ultimate. He could easily look for a kill onto this Nar. Nar can't really contest this.
Yeah, I think it's really smart that Dynasty Sapphire isn't starting up this Baron just because of how powerful it is and how much steal potential ET has. But I do want to see them maybe look to bait a fight Baron.
Yeah, 100%. They do have the Kaizen Rel up here now, and the Sejuani is here. They could look for a potential bait, but the Baron is warded. Sejuani should just be going in there to clear the ward. The Nar does get hit again.
They're all going down for the Mordekaiser. They could look for a turn on Baron, and they are.
Yeah, Baron has been started up by Irelia and Sejuani with Kai'Sa close on the flank. That might just be an uncontested Baron going over. A TP coming in from the Nar. Mordekaiser is off to the ult, the Braum here, but I don't think Mordekaiser is going to be able to get out of this, so this should be a pretty juicy shutdown, hopefully going over to the Jinx. Oh, a nice flash by the Braum keeps him alive, and a knock-up by Daisy here, and a huge shutdown going over to Jinx. That's a 1,000 gold shutdown. Honestly, yeah, I'll take it for the Baron, as long as they can wave clear.
That's probably the best thing that could have happened for the side of ET. That brought the Jinx from a 2.5 gold deficit to only a 1,000 gold deficit on the Kaisa. So she's got those 2 items, the IE and the Kraken Slayer, so she'll start doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, she just needs to get the QSS now so that she is safe from the Sejuani and Mordekaiser, and then Jinx can start wreaking havoc in these fights if their team can peel her. Sejuani goes forward with the Glacial Piercing, but a nice flash from the Jinx does avoid it. So pretty huge summoner spell just got blown there thanks to the Sejuani proactivity. Oh, they
Looks like we're just gonna...
Mordekaiser TP top. There is a potential of a 4v5 here in the mid without Sejuani ult. Q from the Braum does connect onto the Rel. Gnar is looking forward. He's hit a Q. He got the slow onto the Sejuani. Can they look for more? They have to look for something. Mordekaiser is just split pushing right now. Akali's on the flank. Does get spotted. The shot is popped.
Yeah, Dynasty Sapphire is just happy to take the top tier 2. Ignore this fight.
100%.
And then they can transition into this dragon here in 50 seconds.
Yeah, now Mordekaiser is moving down to this tower. They could look for a potential 5v5 under tower. They are tanky enough. They can tank this 4 days. Mordekaiser's ready on the flank. His Death Realm is available. Jinx has to be careful here.
Yeah, really well played. They're just slowly whittling down their base, and there's not much that ET can do about this. They're playing it really well. They're taking all the gold from the camps, so it's gonna be really hard for them to get back into the game here.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they're sending the Akali to match the Mordekaiser, because Akali is probably the most powerful member on ET at the moment.
100%, but I don't think Gnar can match the Mordekaiser though, so it's a little bit of a...
Yeah.
Just like trying to stop the bleeding as much as they can. That's going to be the 3rd dragon confirmed by Dynasty Sapphire. They are now officially on Soul Point. Sets them up for a 30-minute Mountain Soul.
Yeah, the Mountain Soul is really, really huge for them. Every one of their champions loves it. We don't really have many objectives to fight over for the next 3 minutes when Baron spawns, so I think we're gonna see a dead zone for the next 3 minutes. I want to see ET just play it safe, huddle in their base, try to get some farm on the Jinx, and maybe look for trying to get a little bit of vision control back. But it looks like Dynasty Sapphire is just gonna keep putting on the pressure here.
100%, but luckily for the side of Elysium Terra, they have a very, like, even though Jinx is behind, those 2 items are very crucial for her. As long as she doesn't get caught, she can do a lot of damage with her rocket form. Oh, W does connect onto, ooh, the pool does connect onto the Jinx, but no Death Realm going out. Jinx has got to be careful here.
Jinx does have 1,700 gold. She could go back and get the QSS. I think that she should really look to reset here soon.
They're looking to fight while Aurelia is bot lane right now, though. No fight is going to happen. Jinx is just kind of sitting here making sure that she has the wave clear for her team. I think they're just trying to stop any more inhibitor towers falling. We do have Mega
really
Gnar
hard
here.
for the side of E.
Do we have a potential fight? Mordekaiser took some pretty nasty poke there. That should push him off and give Jinx enough time to reset if she wants to.
Yeah, she now has 2,100 gold, so I'm curious to see what she's gonna go for. Maybe
she might be saving up for a Hurricane. Maybe she's hoping that her team can peel the Mordekaiser away enough and then just go for a full Hurricane to maximize her team fight damage. Not a terrible call, but it's still pretty risky with Mordekaiser having Ghost and being able to get to her pretty quickly.
It looks like Kaisa got the Nashor's Tooth, so she has the W evolve, I believe.
Yes.
And the E evolve, so she is pretty dangerous. That poke can be devastating for the side of ET.
So Jinx has opted to go Last Whisper, so prioritizing the LDR versus the QSS or Hurricane. Really trying to get through these tanks while they're, like, for instance, the Mordekaiser while he doesn't have any armor.
I don't think it's that bad just because Mordekaiser doesn't have the flash. If Mordekaiser had flash, then he would have no problem getting on the Jinx, ulting her.
Yeah, but I feel like the Irelia with the Flash Glacial Prison is, or not the Irelia, the Sejuani with the Flash Glacial Prison, it can be pretty dangerous for the Jinx. Jinx is a very low ability AD carry until she starts getting excited.
Yeah, ET's slowly pushing the vision line out, and Dynasty Sapphire is losing their vision line here, so it's pretty good setup for ET. I'm impressed that they're able to clear out all this vision and take back control of their topside jungle. That's really big for the side of ET.
Well, it looks like we might have a fight going out here. The Rel does get the stun onto the Braum. Nara's looking for some poke. The ulti once again onto the Jinx. The Jinx is just overstepping her bounds, and that's just going to be a dead Jinx for the Mordekaiser. She does try to flash away, but might be too little too late. Irelia TP'd in on the flank. Irelia flash forwards with the ulti and hits onto 3. That's going to be a nice kill set up there. Zawai got 1 in return, but it's just not going to be enough. Nara can't win this 1v4. That's going to be the end of the game here. TP coming out by the Mordekaiser, and that's an ace from Dynasty Sapphire.
So close to getting a penta there. What a mechanical play from Empress of Blades. That was insane. He played that really, really well.
This should probably be game here. 20 seconds on the respawn timers, but maybe it's not game quite yet. Nobody's really moving.
Yeah, these respawn timers are a lot shorter ever since the changes.
Oh, they are pinging for it now. They're going to look for a force here. Jinx and Braum are up along with the Ivern. Can they turn this around? Can they get the shutdowns on Jinx? She has a full LDR. She's stepping forward.
They don't have any ults.
Yeah, Braum is here trying to block as much damage as he can. They are focusing the Nexus right now. The Rel does get a lot of CC layered onto the Jinx. That's going to stop their damage output, and that's going to be game going over to Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah, really well played. They slowly whittled them down, played the game perfectly, got an early lead. They played their comp to a T.
Yeah,
really well played by Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah, I don't think Elysium Terra played poorly there. Their draft was pretty good. It just seemed like they were getting a little bit too excited about plays that ever happened around the map, and they just kind of kept dropping kill after kill after their very good start mid lane. So hopefully they can shore that up and improve for game number 2.
Yeah, for game number 2, I'd like to see the top lane doing a little bit better. The Mordekaiser became a menace and kind of took over the game. He had a 2,000 gold lead at 18 minutes. Absolutely crazy from the Mordekaiser. Yeah. So I think for game 2, they need to clean up that top side.
100%. But yeah, we're going to swing it off to a break while we prepare for game number 2 of this series between Dynasty Sapphire and Elysium Terra. And let's see if Elysium Terra can bring it to our first game 3 of the series of this week. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, we are prepared for game number 2 of the series between Elysium Terra and Dynasty Sapphire. Elysium Terra has had a roster swap, so they're going to gain one of their bands back. So could be very crucial, taking away possibly like a comfort pick like Irelia from Empress of Blades or the Mordekaiser from Ford. Oh, I don't know if Tavian's back yet. So, we are going to start out with a solid band from Dynasty Sapphire. Looks like it's going to be the Zac band like they did in game number 1. And the second band will also be on the side of Dynasty Sapphire. So we'll have to wait and see what that is while I adjust the music. There we go.
I am back.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if I like the swap. They're losing one of their best players in Furry Little Feet. But we'll see how it goes with this player,
Siggy. Oh, yeah. Also, Zawai is actually apparently pronounced Zui. So, we got that notification. Zawai. No, Zawai. Zawai, I think. So, yeah. Better than today. Who cares?
No way.
They are going to take away the Irelia from Empress of Blades. I don't know if Irelia necessarily was the the key function of what made that team have success. I felt like the Kali did pretty well until she started getting ganked. She just wasn't respecting the Sejuani gank path. But still, I do respect that they're taking away a comfort pick from Dynasty Sapphire. So there's not too much flame going their way. I felt like the Mordekaiser was just a little bit more of an issue for them. We do have Kai'Sa for the final band of Dynasty Sapphire, so taking away that blind pick Kai'Sa, very strong AD carry, and it's going to be ET once again going for that Jinx. Jinx, last game from Very Little Feet was kind of overstepping their bounds with a fed Mordekaiser on the enemy team, constantly got ulted there and did not opt to go for the QSS. So maybe Sagi can perform a little bit better on this very powerful champion, and Dynasty Sapphire looking to match it with a possible Ashe here. So now Jinx 100% should be going cleanse. If she doesn't go cleanse, it's in.
Yeah. I hope we don't see another Mordekaiser, especially another Mordekaiser where we don't pick up QSS on. But we will see.
Yeah. I don't feel like.
See a...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say we might see a Braum takeaway, but it looks like they're opting for the Rel again.
Yeah, that Rel was pretty crucial there. Braum didn't do the best at stopping her engages, so maybe the Milio can. Milio with Jinx is pretty powerful. The range enhancement on top of the rocket form enhancement gives Jinx a lot of auto range. I think she gets up to, I want to say like 800 auto range with the campfire from Milio. So, and also on top of that, Milio, great at stopping Rel engages if he can time those Qs against the Rel Ws.
Yep.
And
I like the Maokai.
Yeah, Elysium Terra going for the Maokai. It looks like we have a battle of the trees happening in the jungle. The Ivern is picked up by Dynasty Sapphire. So, so what tree's better? I guess we'll find out this game, huh?
Seems like Ivern is very high priority. Very interesting.
Yeah, I gotta go tell Vaprita to start playing that tree.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play that. Unfortunately.
Never supports the team. Anyways, we do have the Kinnan ban once again coming out from Dynasty Sapphire, so really respecting the OP Ivy's Kinnan. I won't be surprised to see it Renekton ban as well. Will Elysium Terra take away the Mordekaiser? And something else to keep in mind, I don't know if Ford plays it, but Ornn, very powerful blind pick top laner. Sion, another one of those champions that's very hard to punish.
Yep.
Oh, we do have a Kiana ban coming out, so they're putting bans onto Empress of Blades. Last week's Kiana performance wasn't the best, but maybe, just maybe, it was a fluke of a game, and Empress of Blades is probably a pretty good Kiana player, if that's the case.
Yeah, I think we definitely... Dynasty Sapphire really needs damage here, so I'm maybe thinking maybe a Yone pick. I'm not sure if Empress of Blades plays that, but...
Hey, man. Blades in the name, 2 blades on Yone, it has to be. It's foretold.
True.
And we do have the Renekton ban once again coming from Dynasty Sapphire, so taking away Renekton and Kinnan from OP Ivy, and we do have the Yone ban coming in from Elysium Terra, so
They're
Right.
ghosting us, dude.
Right on the nose.
There is Yasuo, but I don't think Yasuo is that good. His wind wall can be annoying for Jinx, but Yasuo is a very hard champion to get right, I think. He gets counterpicked by a lot of things.
Looks like we have a Lux mid. I feel like that is a champion that can be fairly easily abused. I wonder if Zoe plays Xerath. Because I feel like Xerath is pretty strong into Lux. He outranges her in every aspect, and Xerath is just an overall very powerful champion.
Yeah, Xerath would be huge here. That combined with the Maokai ult, really, really crazy.
A lot of lockdown. There's not really a true tank for Dynasty Sapphire to be taking all this hate, except for the Rel. But we're going to get a Cat Arena coming out of Zoe. Kind of dangerous, I feel like, into champions like Ashe and Rel, who have a very easy time of stopping her ultimate. But if she does get a lead and starts tearing up the mid lane, it can become quite a problem for Dynasty Sapphire.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Go ahead.
I don't like that pick just because we do, like, there's 4 champions on Dynasty Sapphire that can stop her ult.
Well, Ivern and Lux can't stop her ulti. They can just stop her movement, but it does not stop the ult. So only knockups and stuns can. So there's only really 2 champions that can do that. Shumpo is also pretty good at avoiding some of those CC chains. I would say that the hardest one for the Katarina to dodge would be the Rel. But we do have Darius, the D and Gods of Worlds, has come out for Elysium Terra. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do against Cassante. Cassante has been tearing up the Rift on the Worlds patch. So with this patch, he did get some changes. Let's see if he can do the same thing. Or let's see if the bleed from Darius can really overpower the Cassante and kill him.
Yeah, I think this is really hard. Like, if he's a Cassante player, then it's really good, but Cassante is such a hard champion to pilot, and he received so many changes and nerfs this patch.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily nerfs. Maybe in the grand scheme of things they are nerfs, but I think Riot said that they're positioning him more into the tank aspect of his kit versus the all-out damage that he can deal. So it might be pretty hard to keep up with the Darius damage. And on top of that, you have a Maokai, someone who's really good at keeping people in place. And if Maokai can look for some advantages in the mid and top, it can look very dangerous for the champions of Cassante and Lux, especially when Katarina and Darius, if they get leads, can really take over the game.
Right. Yeah, I'm favoring ET's draft like 9 games out of 10, just because I feel like Dynasty Sapphire is missing so much damage.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be looking for picks.
I feel like yeah, they have a great pick comp. I would have liked to see something else other than the Lux coming out of the mid lane, but maybe, just maybe, with the Ashe ultimates, Lux can get some pretty big ults paired with the Ashe. But overall, I would definitely give the edge over to Elysium Terra's draft. I don't really like the Katarina, but I see the potential. So it's not the end of the world. But Cassante also makes this a little bit harder for Katarina because Cassante's W is a push. So that will always stop Katarina's ultimate.
Yeah, and his R.
So I really want to see Elysium Terra here playing for the top and the bot out of the Maokai here. Katarina getting fed is a nice surplus, but I don't think that this is a comp that Katarina can really explode on. Compared to champions like Darius and Jinx.
Yeah. It's so hard for ET to get on that top lane, though, because Cassante is such a hard champion to kill. He has so many dashes, and he can use his ultimate to bring you over the wall and isolate you, so I want to see them go towards the top lane as well, but it's going to be pretty hard to kill the Cassante. Just bully him out of lane is what they're probably going to need to do.
100%. All right. Oh, another champion, not that we've seen it picked yet, but another champion that I think is slept on is Vayne. Especially with tank junglers being a little bit more priority for a lot of teams, and tank supports being pretty strong. I feel like Vayne can really dominate just like Jinx can, but with a little bit more ease because of the movement that Vayne gets. She does lose out on some range, but Maybe we'll see some Bane pickups later in the season.
Yeah,
But-
Bane is really hard to play against with the invisibility. It's kind of like playing against an Akali.
Yeah. All right, so we know what Dynasty Sapphire is looking for. They're looking for picks. They're looking to stop this Katarina from getting ahead, and looking to keep this Ashe and Lux alive while they dish out the damage. And we know what Elysium Terra is trying to do. They're trying to make sure this Jinx can once again scale as the Milio, as a pseudo enchanter support, and also a champion that can disengage very heavily. And they have the Darius Katarina to really try to dominate the laning phase. But other than those main key points from these teams, where do you want to see each team really pushing their lead here with their junglers?
I'd actually like to see maybe Katarina getting an early lead so that she can get around the map and help out this Jinx. I think that's going to be the biggest win condition there. But I think overall, ET's draft is just so powerful that if they can kind of handshake and scale into the late game, Dynasty Sapphire can't really do much. They can't contest objectives unless they get a pick. So I think it's going to look really hard for Dynasty Sapphire if this game goes past 20 minutes.
Yeah, and on top of that, like the viewers might be thinking, oh, well, Dynasty Sapphire can poke people out of objectives and stuff, but there's a Maokai ult on the other side. Maokai ult covers a very large portion. It covers all of the river, especially in those like Baron and Dragon fights, and it goes really far.
Yeah.
So it can really push people away, or if someone wants to try to contest that, even if the Cassante tanks it, he can get blown up with the Darius True damage and the Jinx damage coming out. So that Maokai is a super crucial pick for this team. But we are loading in... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We also have the Milio heal, and Maokai is probably going to pick up Radiant Virtue, so their poke, if they don't kill them, it's not going to be very... It's not going to do anything.
Yeah. All right, so we are loading in the Rift for game number 2 between Elysium Terra and Dynasty Sapphire. Let's see if Elysium Terra can overcome the odds and bring this to a game number 3, first of week 2. We'll be right back. All right, we are on the rift for game number 2 between Elysium Terra and Dynasty Sapphire. Are you ready, Vimstat?
I sure am.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13. And
Yep.
something to note out, Jinx didn't take cleanse. This mother trucker. How dare they? They have the Milio ult, sure, but there's just so much CC. They got the Ivern stun, you got the Lux root, you got the Ashe stuns and slows. Come on.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. That's gonna come to bite him. I know it.
30 seconds until minions.
It looks like we do have a phase rush on Maokai. Phase rush is one of the runes that dodged a nerf this patch, and it is really strong on Maokai. So I think it's a good pickup.
Yeah, and with most likely Maokai will be going more of a tanky build, probably skipping over the Demonic Embrace, really just trying to be a frontline for his team. They do have enough damage this game, so
Yep.
we should be seeing like a straight up Radiant Virtue into full tank, not any shenanigans going with AP.
Yep. And he did take the green smite, so it's pretty likely that's what he's gonna do.
Once again, Ford has opted not to take Flash this game. I feel like that can be a little bit dangerous against a champion like Darius. So we'll have to see what really happens in that top lane, especially with them having Ghost matchups this time. So Darius, typically when you take Ghost, it's like, okay, I can just outrun my opponent even if they have Flash. Well, this time Darius has Ghost as well. So there's no really outrunning this guy.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, can we sync back up? I accidentally hit the button.
I'm at 147.
Where you at? Okay, sorry. Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 48, 49.
Yep.
Okay. How dare you interrupt the stream? No.
Sorry. I like autopiloted and hit the spacebar like I'm VOD reviewing.
We have some nice trades coming out of the Cassante early. Cassante's Q, pretty short cooldown, low mana, and Darius opted to take the W level 1, so it can get a little dicey for Darius. So he starts getting that Q and getting that HP gain from the Q. And on top of that, Katarina's probably going to take some bad trades early on too until the Katarina does get ulti.
Yeah, something to note is OP Ivy, their top laner. Doesn't look like he plays Darius very much.
Yeah, no skin.
So
Ugh. Or
this might be, yeah. Similar to last game, I think we're gonna see some problems in the top lane because he was also playing Gnar last game, and he didn't seem like he was on comfort on Gnar either.
Yeah, Ivern is walking into the jungle of Maokai. Ivern can steal this pretty easily if Maokai's not careful, and does not get it though. Maokai does secure that buff. But Rel is looking for an engage onto the Milio here, but Jinx is taking some nice trades there with the campfire onto the Ashe with the Milio burn. Darius has hit the crucial level 3. He has his full cycle of abilities now. But he has to be careful here. Oh, a nice stun up there, and that's going to be first blood going over to Cassante. Really well played there by Ford.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're going to see another problem happening here in the top lane. Ford seems like he's really on his game today.
Yeah, Maokai's here for a gank, but a flash forward and gets the flash out of Lux. So nice summoner trade there for the Katarina. Gives Katarina a lot of presence in the lane now once she does hit that level 6. Oh, Katarina's going forward. Does get hit by the Q stun, but dodges the singularity by the Lux.
Yeah, I like everything I'm seeing from ET this early game, other than the Darius dying. But I think I like what this Maokai is prioritizing.
Yeah, I would like to see Maokai try to save Darius here because you don't want a Darius falling behind in lane. Ivern is here on the bot side though. Flash forward by the Rel, but Jinx flashes the Rel Q as well. So nice reaction there by Siggy. And now Maokai is here for the Cassante. Ghost has been popped by the Darius and the Cassante, but Cassante is not going to be able to get away from here, and the Bleed's going to get the kill over to the Darius. And Siggy is about to pick up a kill here on String Theory. Theocracy, sorry. But to no luck. That's going to be Summoner's Bone on the Rel.
And
Lux has-
crucially, Summoner's blown on the Jinx, so maybe before level 6 we can get an Ash arrow that really punishes this Jinx for not taking cleanse.
Yeah, but if Milio hits level 6 at the same time Ash does, then that Ash arrow will mean zilch.
Oh yeah, Milio ult cleanses, huh?
Yeah, that's the only reason why I would say not taking cleanse, but it's just so much CC that is on the side of Dynasty Sapphire that I feel like cleanse is just super crucial. Because Milio can't cleanse at all.
Yeah, it looks like both of our junglers have not had any luck with any of their ganks.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Malachi got a kill onto the Cassante with Darius. Come on, give him credit.
That's true, that's true. I wasn't watching that play, sorry.
Katarina is level 6 here, and Lux still doesn't have flash, so this could get really dangerous for the mid lane matchup, especially if Maokai can get a gank in. Ford is level 6 here. Could potentially push him into a wall and get an ult through the wall, getting the Darius away from the tower. Darius hasn't hit level 6 yet, and is he close though? Yeah, he's about to hit level 6, so could get pretty dangerous here for Ford if Darius can get the full bleed stack.
Yep.
Nice knock up there onto the Darius. Darius is taking quite a beating here, not really sidestepping the Cassante Qs. But here comes a fight happening on the top side right now. That's going to be all 5 stacks. Flashes the knock up by the Cassante, and that's going to be a solo kill going over to the Darius. Really well played there by OP Ivy.
Yeah, it looks like I'm eating my words here. OP Ivy is really bringing it back. This Darius could be a huge problem for the side of...
Ooh, Lux could be in danger here. She did miss the light binding, but Katarina doesn't quite have the damage yet. Ooh, we got some harassment onto the Ashe. That's going to push Ashe away from this dragon. Could they look to contest here? Ooh, once again, Lux is just eating these daggers back to back to back. Is this going to be a kill onto Lux? Flash goes forward by the Katarina. It's a nice solo kill picked up by Zoe.
Well played, yeah.
Don't you just love Katarina and that everything she does applies on hit effects? God, that champion.
And she can dash a million times. I remember we were when we were playing our game against BBC yesterday. It was really weird because we had Kassadin into Akali, but it felt like Akali had more dashes than Kassadin. So he has flash every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyways, it looks like neither of these teams are really prioritizing these early dragons, which surprises me a little bit, especially for a Hextech Drake, which gives such good bonuses. I know it's nerfed, but there's such good bonuses on champions like Jinx.
Yeah, Darius is going to get ganked here by the Ivern. He doesn't have the ultimate to turn this 2v1, so he has to be a little bit careful. He does pop the Ghost, but Cassante pops the Ghost as well. Darius does not have flash, gets knocked up by the Cassante, but he might get a trade kill. The huge damage coming out, and Lux is going to get spotted out by Maokai. Maokai's going to dodge the light binding and the singularity, and now Darius is here with the Ghost. Oh, it does not connect the Q or the pool. So really well played there by OP Ivy to get out of that sticky situation, and now his ultimate is back up, so if they try that again, he could turn this around. But Rel is here. They are pinging onto Darius. Darius is disrespecting this hard. The all-out goes onto Darius to pull him into the enemy team, and that's going to be a shutdown going over to the Ivern. Not exactly who you want to see it on, but he's dead nonetheless.
Yeah, this is really good for Dynasty Sapphire. They are probably going to lose a plate down in the bot lane, but...
They should lose the dragon, too.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Yeah, no, Jinx. Yeah, Jinx is walking over with Milio, and Maokai has started the dragon, so it's going to be a Herald for Dragon trade.
Yeah. See, I think this would be good if, like, they had the dragon stacking, but... Now the earliest they can get their soul is around 25 minutes, so I think it's pretty not good that trade for the side of ET.
I don't think it's the end of the world as long as they can stop a Herald getting a first tower. If Herald can only get like a plate or two, I say it would overall worth it. just because the stats, like you were saying, that Hextech trait gives is so massive. And Jinx also secured 2 plates bot lane already, so they basically got the Herald value out of a Jinx push.
Yeah.
Darius is looking again on this fight onto the Cassante. He's looking to just keep full lane prio now. He has no fear in the world. Cassante does have the knockback. Does not connect though. And we have a 3-man potential fight, 3v3 happening here in the bot side. Ivern might get spotted, or Ivern is known, sorry, holy crap. Ivern was seen, but Maokai wasn't, so Dynasty Sapphire has to be a little bit careful here.
Yep.
Oh, OPIV misses the pull onto the Cassante.
Yeah, and it really looks like this Lux is just trying to keep
dropping Herald right there. I don't feel like this is worth it. They're in no way in heck getting power here. They only got 1 plate out of that. So
yeah,
I think
Ashe. I don't think Ashe got plate gold there.
Yeah. So overall, I'm gonna say that Elysium Terra is really happy with that Dragon Herald trade now, especially since that Herald was basically used to very little success.
Yeah, and Jinx just completed her coal. She should be able to complete an item on her base.
Ashe Arrow does go wide. So no melee ult needed to save the Jinx here. Jinx did pop her ghost. She's looking for some aggressive trades, but Cassante is fighting top lane right now. But a nice heal Q coming out from the Darius, but Cassante might be able to get this kill. He is ghosted right now. Cassante is looking. Oh, a flash forward by the Darius, and it misses the Q. And this might be the end of Maokai as well. Cassante has the ghost. Oh, but he doesn't quite hit the W. Very aggressive there by the Darius, and it is going to result in a death for him. Oh, Milio does get ulted. Milio ulti was popped while the Rel died super deep. We have a double TP coming in for both mid laners. Katarina is here. Jinx is ready to get excited. She gets one excited, but gets sniped by the Lux ulti. Now Katarina, can she carry this fight 1v3? No, she can't. She has to jump away. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in the bot side.
Yeah, there it is. The cleanse value would have been huge there for the Jinx, but
well, she got the Milio ult, so she wasn't CC'd for too long. But you can't cleanse Rel's CC because everything that she does is knockups and stun, or basically knockups. The only stun she has is the Q, but Rel did cleanse that, or Milio cleansed that. Sorry, I'm getting the names all mixed up today.
it looks like we are going for the on-hit Blade of the Rune King build on the Katarina.
Yeah, Katarina already 2-0, pretty strong right now, and even in farm with this Lux.
Yep. Yeah, the Lux pick, I believe, was just to kind of keep this Katarina in lane and just push this wave. She's been using her ult on the wave, like she did just now. I think she's really
does go out, does stun the Jinx, and the Rel hits the double knockup on them. They're going to have to try to return this time. Milio is killed, and now Siggy is going to die to the Ashe. That's going to be a double kill going over to the Ashe while Cassante starts to fight in the top side. But Cassante could be in danger here. A max stacks on the Darius. Can the Darius get the ult in ult range? But no, he can't. Ghost is popped by Darius, and Ivern is now up here. Darius has to respect this.
We've got Dragon here in a minute. I think ET is going to be in a good place to really take this Dragon if they can get this mid prio. But it looks like Rel could.
Once again, Ford is looking on OP Ivy. OP Ivy is super low. Ford does have the knockback. It's looking like he's just trying to get some pressure in the lane. Katarina is here for the Ivern and Rel. The Maokai ulti is popped, does connect onto the Rel, but other than that, nothing to go crazy about. He does flash forward and get the knockback onto the Ivern here while Ford is diving the Darius and just gets a solo kill underneath the tower. But that's going to be the Dragon going over to Elysium Terra.
Yeah, really big play for ET. I'm really happy that they're prioritizing this Dragon stacking. It's really good if it's an Infernal Soul. I'd really like to see an Infernal Soul here for the side of ET.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see what it is. It's going to be an Ocean Soul, not bad, especially for a Darius and
Ocean
Maokai.
Soul is. Yep.
So I don't think anyone's complaining about that.
And it's really good into. It's actually really good into Dynasty Sapphire's team comp because all of that poke and all of that catch potential really will be for nil if they don't get a kill
100%.
by popping somebody.
Great poke there by Jinx onto the Ashe. Rel is not here. This could be first tower falling.
Yeah, and that's huge for the Jinx. ET is really playing this well.
Yeah, that's going to be first tower going over to Sagai. And I don't even... Moak? Moak? But Herald is going to get started here by the Ivern and the Rel. The Daisy has been popped. So that should be Herald going over to the side of Dynasty Sapphire. They know they're down there. And they know Maokai is in the bot side jungle.
Yeah,
Ford,
last time.
Ford going forward, hits the knockup onto the Darius. Can he get him near a wall for the all-out? Actually, all-out's not even off cooldown. But Ford does have a 2-level advantage over OP Ivy, so this top lane pick not really paying off. Rel is here for a potential Dower Dive. OP Ivy is in danger. I think he's just gonna die here as soon as they get this wave into the tower. I don't think he can turn this because Cassante is just so tanky and so strong. Now Ivern's here. They do hit the stun onto the Darius, and the Lux Laser comes out to snipe the kill, and a TP coming in from the Katarina. Oh,
They could get another kill here.
yeah, she does go forward onto the Cassante, but she doesn't have the damage right now. She doesn't have ulti, so she's just gonna die here. She flashes, but gets hit by the Cassante knockback, and now Jinx is here. Milio gets stunned, and he's going to get CC chained here. And that might be a 3-4-0 here. Milio does get knocked up, but nothing too crazy going on. Jinx is looking to chase. She has the ghost. She's trying to get excited off the Rel. Can she do it? Oh, nice shield there by the Cassante, but now Cassante's in a little bit of danger. A shutdown could be going over to the Jinx onto the Cassante. Maokai ulti goes out and does connect, and a nice Lux snipe. How is that ultimate back up? That's crazy. And now Maokai's in too deep and dies to Lux as well. What is that cooldown?
What a disaster for ET. That cooldown is really insane.
29 seconds. Are you high, Riot Games?
She only has 10. She only has 10 ability haste from her item.
She has 20, but that is still disgusting. She ulted twice in the span of 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's insane.
That almost looked so good for Elysium Terra, but that Lux pick coming in strong, actually. Now OP Ivy's going to chase down, has to pop the Ghost to get away from the Ashe.
Lux picked up a Lich Bane here. Very interesting.
Yeah, really looking for that abuse that she can do if she hits a snare or the singularity onto a target.
Yeah, we did see the weakness of Dynasty Sapphire's team comp in that last fight. They almost lost that team fight, even though it was like a 2v4, because they had no damage. They weren't able to kill the Milio until the Ashe got down there.
Yeah.
So we do see the weakness there, and I really do think that ET still is favored in this match if they can continue dragon stacking, because Dynasty Sapphire just doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah, I would like to see. I wish the Katarina went with like a Nash's Tooth first. I feel like she doesn't have quite enough damage to look for those like crazy ultimates. But here he is now fighting the Lux. The Lux has to flash away. While Cassante's taking a rough fight with the Darius, but then he turns it all around with the all out, and that's gonna be another solo kill going over to the Cassante. I don't think this Darius can fight Cassante anymore.
Nope. Yeah, Iceborne Gauntlet is a really big pickup. It's reducing so much damage. It's already reduced 650 damage to Darius.
Yeah.
Or in general.
The Herald is going to be dropped mid. This should be mid tower falling unless they can kill Herald fast enough here. They're looking to try to do it. They can't get access to the eye though. Rel is walking forward. She has to be careful. That's going to be the tower falling, but Jinx does get excited off of a Herald kill, so that's going to be one excited Fear. Melio does pop the ulti with the Maokai ulti coming in suit. Now Rel is a little bit in danger. She's gotten caught out by the Maokai. Can Jinx get this kill? Oh, the shields are just massive, but that's going to be a kill going over to the Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx is just able to free fire in these fights, and it looks like Lux picked up a crown.
Yeah,
I really don't like this. They need damage, so getting a crown here is really detrimental for Dynasty Sapphire.
I mean, with how strong this Cassante is against the Darius, maybe that's all the damage they need, but Cassante gets caught out by the pool. This could be a dead Cassante. Jinx is not there to get excited. Can she get the assist? She can not, but that's going to be the 3rd dragon secured by Elysium Terra.
400 gold shutdown goes to the Darius. Good person to have. Would have been better on the Jinx, but Darius is not bad.
We do have the Divine Sunderer being built by the Katarina, so she's looking to really start shutting the Cassante tank and the Rel.
Yeah, like I said in drafting phase, I think this game going past 20 minutes, it's a huge blunder, and we're on soul point now for ET. I think ET's in a very commanding position right now. The gold lead is kind of deceiving us, because I just think that ET has a much better team comp and can win these fights on Baron.
Yeah, the
if they get the soul
engages, the picks that they're managing to get, even though they're playing against the pick comp, which is crazy, they're out picking the pick comp.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you watch the fights, Jinx is able to just sit there and free fire the entire fight.
Yeah, even when Ashley does connect onto her, the Milio's always there with his ultimate to save her. So super hard to keep this Jinx locked down. Gonna have to maybe get someone in there deep like the Rel or the Cassante, someone who can't get their CC cleansed.
And I think if the Jinx gets a rapid fire cannon, she's gonna be able to get this crown off of the Lux, and that item will kind of just be useless.
I think Lux is looking for a more in-your-face kind of build with that Lich Bane pickup as well. So maybe they're prioritizing just trying to get in as deep as possible with taking the minimal amount of damage to get rid of the Jinx, because the Jinx is like the key issue for the side of Dynasty Sapphire. If they can't lock her down and get her killed, it doesn't matter how fast you can kill the Darius if she's just free firing you at 800 auto range.
Yeah, that's true.
Jinx
I do think that maybe the Luden's Echo would look better for the one-shot potential, though.
Yeah. Jinx has completed her Infinity Edge. She's probably going to go LDR 2nd or 3rd, I would guess. Just because of the amount of tank stats coming in from the Cassante. He's already at 2 items completed, whereas Darius is still working on his next one. Is that a hole breaker coming out of Darius, it looks like?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think that's interesting.
I mean,
I don't think that's really how they want to play it.
I
but
mean, Darius isn't really shouldn't be in the team fights. He is a super strong push Thresh, and maybe Hullbreaker is going to be enough to give him the advantage over onto Cassante. We will just have to see, though.
Yeah, the Cassante is the main threat. So actually, him pulling out the Cassante, if that's the person that has to match him, is going to be really big for the side of ET.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else is tanky enough to match the Darius. Like, he has Ghost to, like, outrun the Lux. Maybe Ashe can, but if your AD carry has to match the top lane split push, that's definitely not where you want to be. Baron has been started up by the side of Dynasty Sapphire. The Jinx Rocket goes out, so they know that they're here. Cassante is topside with teleport. He does teleport in with the Katarina teleporting above. Katarina does have a flank here. She has to be careful. Ashe Arrow goes super wide. That's a big cooldown used there for a teleport trade.
Yeah. It's a good look from Dynasty Sapphire, but with the Baron changes, they just can't burst it down fast enough.
Yeah, Darius is going to get caught out here, but while Darius is getting caught in a fight, you have Dynasty Sapphire looking for a fight. That could be... Oh, Millie almost died there if he didn't have ultimate. But while that is happening, Darius is just going to die. You can't really do much here in the 4v1. But let's see if Elysium Terra can secure a tier 2 tower or even a kill on Lux. This could be a dead Milio, but the heal pops out to save him. And Baron has been started by Dynasty Sapphire. They have to know that they're on this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is huge if they can sneak this, because then they can walk straight over to the dragon after resetting.
Yeah, Maokai and Jinx is walking up.
They
Jinx
don't
is-
have Jinx Roxette
Yeah,
for the
Jinx is
steal.
just free firing right now. The Maokai ulti does go out. Casante's trying to get to her. He hits the knockup, but is it enough to get to her? He does have all out. He did all out the Jinx. Jinx has to be careful here. She does have the Milio for the peel. Ash did secure a kill onto the Katarina while that is happening, and Jinx just got absolutely nuked there by Casante, and Maokai's going to die in the
Wow.
backside of that fight. Darius is here now with the Milio, and they secure a kill onto the Casante while this is happening.
Someone needs to clip that play, by the way. Ash just threaded the needle straight onto the Jinx through the entire team to hit the Jinx with the Ash R. That is so huge. And they're going to deny the soul as well after this.
Yeah, that's going to be Baron secured by the side of Dynasty Sapphire. We have 2 players resetting, but 3 of them are not. Ash has canceled her reset, and now she's resetting again. This should be the dragon secured by Dynasty Sapphire unless Jinx Rocket can secure a steal.
Yep. We don't have Daisy, so they're going to be taking it a little bit slower.
Jinx Rocket going super early. They know that they're here, but that Jinx Rocket was a little bit too soon.
Just throwing out the Luxar because it's only on a 29-second cooldown. I like it. And she's about to hit level 16, about 50% of the way there. When she hits level 16, it's going to go down even more. Basically a basic ability. It's so crazy.
Yeah, we do have Jinx looking like she's opting for a Hurricane here. Not a bad idea, especially with how squishy Dynasty Sapphire's team is minus the Casante. Ooh, we did get an Ashel onto the Jinx, and it's going to be answered with a Milio ult to get her out of that. They could look to fight here. Casante is in the bot side, and Lux is currently clearing blue. They must not know, though. Dude, Casante has 3 levels up on this Darius. That is disgusting.
Yeah. This Ford has been absolutely dominating the last 2 games. He was such a threat in the solo lane, and there's nothing the jungler could really do to help out OP Ivy to stop the abuse that he was dealing to him.
Okay, now Ford is looking for
Oh wow.
trying to get this bot lane shoved in with his Baron. I don't know where Elysium Terra can fight right now. They just need to kind of like turtle up. But Darius is still constantly looking. The knockup is going to hit onto the Darius, and the Darius might get all outed, and he tried to flash it, but that's not how that works, Darius. So that's going to be both ghosts popped and a knockup onto the Darius, and that's going to be a solo kill going over to Ford.
Wow. Yeah, this guy has come out super huge. He's pulling so much pressure and creating such good plays for his team. Really liking what Ford has been doing in those last 2 games.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So all of all of Dynasty Sapphire has shifted down here, but a nice ultimate onto the Katarina, followed by a Lux ult that hit both Katarina and Lux. And it should be the inhibitor tower, and most likely an inhibitor falling to Dynasty Sapphire. Jinx is looking for some rocket damage here. And Casante is stepping forward, dashes forward, does not connect the Q knockback though. And Ash is ghosted right now. She is so fast. And that's going to be 2 inhibitors most likely falling here. They have the tank stats to tank this tower, and I don't even know if Elysium Terra can take a straight up 5v5 right now. Ooh, huge Lux ult onto the Milio there. This Lux ult is just off cooldown every flipping second of the game. Maokai's looking for a flank. Maokai ulti is popped forward. It is going to connect onto the Ash here. Can they get a good pick here? And a Maokai goes forward with a huge rel ult to try to defend her, but it's not enough. That's too excited for Jinx. Jinx is shooting so fast right now, and this is going to be Maokai chasing the Casante. Can they get the kill? There should be Jinx falling down the all-out onto the Maokai to try to get away, but is it enough? The Lux ult goes out, hits 2 of the members of Elysium Terra, but Jinx is still chasing, hits the slow onto the Lux, but Lux should be able to get away. She gets the singularity onto the Lux, or onto the Jinx here, and the Iron Shields are going to save her. Now Casante's here, trying to get away. He has so many dashes. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Elysium Terra. Pretty big fight there. They really needed that.
That was huge. The side of Dynasty Sapphire maybe just overplayed a little bit. They had so much gold to spend, um, and they got punished for over. That was really good for ET, and that puts a lot of gold into the pocket of Jinx. She has 2,300 gold to spend.
Yeah, she did get her
Looks
hurricane.
like she got a hurricane.
So her team fight damage just basically doubled. I think the exact ratio is like 2.25 if she can hit 3 rockets on everybody all times.
Yeah. Yeah, the side of Dynasty Sapphire is up 7k, but if they get that Dragon Soul, they have like 4 to 5,000 gold worth of stats just from the Dragon Soul, and Ocean Soul is so huge for them against that Lux R poke. So I think that if they get this soul, ET is still in a very good position to win this game.
Yeah, they're just going to have to buy some time, let this Jinx complete. Looks like she's going into the LDR. If Jinx can hold this game out long enough and complete the LDR, it's going to be pretty hard to fight Elysium Terra here. Like we said earlier, they don't have the greatest lockdown for her with the Milio ult on the side of Elysium Terra.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have to look to pick the Milio first. They were doing that in the earlier team fights where Milio can't ult if she sees Seed, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, that's gonna be the second Ocean going over to the side of Dynasty Sapphire. There's no real pressure right now until they get that third one. So Elysium Terra does have time. They don't need to do anything too drastic. They might want to fight this Baron though.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna send a Jinx rocket at it because like really risky for them to go in there without any vision.
They are moving over. They
do have vision.
They do have Maokai ulti here. Daisy is here. They know that they're on this, but they are burning this so fast. It's already down at 5,000, 4,000. Can they get there in time? And that's going to be Baron secured by Elysium Terra. Ash ulti goes out, hits the Milio here. Maokai might need the ult to defend, but doesn't look like it. And
yeah, Dynasty Sapphire.
The base of Elysium Terra right now is falling to the super minions, but that tower will survive by the hair. Oh, never mind. Mania's coming in strong.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, actually,
a little bit caught out here by the Maokai. The all-out onto the Maokai reverses the getting caught out, and that's going to be Maokai dead. That is a huge player for the side of Elysium Terra to fall. And now Cassante is looking, hits a double knock-up onto the Ashe with the Lux ulti. Onto the Jinx, and now Katarina's trying to survive this fight, but she doesn't have the ultimate to keep the damage going any longer, and that's going to be game going over to the side of Dynasty Sapphire. Milio cannot stop this by himself.
Wow. Yeah, Dynasty Sapphire, they just played these two games really, really well. I think that they got completely outdrafted this game, but they played their team comp exactly how it needed to be played.
And it didn't help that Elysium Terra didn't have some of their key members that they did in week 1, but even then, Dynasty Sapphire coming out super strong and really abusing the weak sides of the draft that Elysium Terra did have. I mean, Cassante, just Ford in general, absolute unit for both of these games. I honestly have to give him MVP to be like fully honest. I don't know why I said honest so much, but
to Ford.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like
I agree.
Ford, like Ford absolutely shut down OP Ivy both games.
Yeah, Ford had 28,000 damage, the most in the game in this game, and he tanked the most. It's just he was so impactful in both games, absolutely shutting down OP Ivy.
Let me see if I can get him into the caster booth so we can ask him some questions. But yeah, overall, great performance there by Ford. The rest of his team also did perform. Empress of Blades on the very first game with that Irelia really did well. She did get counterpicked, but with the help of Sejuani, really saved that Irelia and got her into a pretty decent lead.
Yep.
And on top of that, the jungler from Dynasty Sapphire playing very well as well. Really fit that supportive role. All right, welcome Ford. Congratulations on your week 2 win against Elysium Terra. You absolutely teared it up in the top lane. How did it feel with the Mordekaiser and the Cassante? It seemed like you just had all the comfort in the world and you were absolutely crushing that lane.
Dude, it felt good. Y'all ranked us pretty low, so yeah, we had to come back with that.
All right, yeah, coming, making me bite my words. It was a little bit tragic that Elysium Terra did lose 2 bans and 3 bans in the first game, and you guys really put that to use. You got the comfort pick of Irelia in the first game, and even when they did ban the Irelia the second game, you guys had answers. So with them losing bans, how did that affect your draft and like your guys' plan going forward for that game or for those games?
I think it did make it much easier, obviously, but I think once we just keep practicing, dude, I don't think it'll matter, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So you had some pretty nasty 1v1s with the Cassante. Have you done the Cassante versus Darius matchup a lot? I feel like Darius should be winning that at least early with the bleed stacks, but you proved me wrong so fast. So is that a matchup that you're familiar with, or like how did you feel with going with picking the Cassante into the Darius?
I was a little familiar with it, but it's just a pretty even lane, I feel, but also try to avoid Darius at all times. That is an annoying champ, so.
Yeah, 100%. Um, but yeah, Vimstat, do you have any questions for Ford?
I just wanted to point out the proxying that you were doing. You were absolutely bullying him. I don't think we've seen the proxy strat done in BTL yet, but you were really punishing them. Do you watch Boss or anything, or do you just like to proxy?
I see the clip, so yeah, I'll take inspiration from him, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
that
well.
was really good.
Yeah, and also I'd like to point out, were you as dumbfounded as us with the Jinx just walking into you on that Mordekaiser game? I felt like Jinx just kept walking in and
Yeah,
walking in. I was like, what is he doing? He doesn't have QSS. He can't get away from you. And I felt like a lot of times you didn't even have to pop Ghost to get to him. He just literally walked
yeah,
into your ult range. I was like, hello.
definitely some illegal stuff from their ADC in these games, because yeah, more just if AC gets in is in his old reach, it's over.
Yeah,
It's
I feel like the only AD
Yeah,
carry that can beat Mord in Mordekaiser's ult is Vayne. And that's only if Vayne is not like massively behind or if Mordekaiser's not massively ahead.
exactly with Jinx being so immobile and me having realized it was just
Yeah,
kind of grief.
it was quite literally the death realm for the Jinx there. Do you have any shout outs that you want to give maybe to your team or anybody that you had watching?
Yeah, I'll shout out everybody to my team. Everybody did really good. We definitely turned around from last week, so
Yeah,
hope we keep it up. Obviously.
yeah, very impressed with your guys' improvement. Let me tell you, you guys definitely will be going up in the power rankings. I'm the one who makes them, so don't you worry
Yeah,
there.
that's what I like to hear, buddy. Hell yeah, I appreciate it.
But yeah, very good win. Solid victory there for your team, and congratulations on your what was I gonna say? I forgot. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for everyone that's been watching BTO and supporting this league for as long as it's been running. We're 15 seasons strong, and we will catch you guys next Saturday and Sunday, starting out with Lexi's Rat Emporium versus the free agent team at 6 p.m. EST. So I hope to see everyone there, and also Friday at, I believe, either 6 or 7 p.m. EST, I will be doing the live Q&A of the power rankings. So if you want to ask questions or take a look, get a first-hand look at it, don't miss that. But otherwise, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Vimstat, for joining me. I don't know where Chicken the Wing has been. He's MIA. And thank you, Ford, for joining us for your MVP interview.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it, guys.
yep, it was fun. See ya.